Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, where the topic is Adaptive Project Management and Reporting. My name is Doug Wellsby, and I'm the Partner Channel Manager here at Wicrosoft. I'm also joined by my colleague, Jim Patterson, our Director of Sales. During today's webinar, attendees will be on mute and the line will not be open for questions. However, feel free to use the GoToWebinar question feature to submit questions. I will address these during the webinar and will respond via email if we do not get to your specific question. If for some reason you get distracted or pulled away from the webinar, no need to worry, as I'll be emailing a link to the presentation once it has been posted to our YouTube channel. I'll now turn the presentation over to Jim.
Thank you, Doug, and welcome everybody. We're excited to present this topic today, Adaptive Project Management and Reporting, focused on the use of one plan today. So let's get started. You know, the changes that are happening in the marketplace are really being driven at the core by digital transformation. You know, organizations are transforming themselves to take advantage of digital, cloud, artificial intelligence, and other types of automation processing to address needs in the marketplace, to get to their customers in different ways and more effectively, and make them more competitive. Just some examples we see up here of how the brick and mortar department stores have become the Amazons of the world, the videos and Blockbuster to the Netflix, and transportation more to the app-based things like Uber and Lyft. Even the cars are becoming more electronic and digital in the way that they run and the components that make them. And to do that, to make these digital transformations, we got to fundamentally change the way we deliver products and services to the marketplace. And it impacts all areas of our business. And when we think about project management, portfolio management, and other things, it affects all these different roles and then some. The executives have to strategize different ways to reach customers and become profitable for the shareholders. The PMOs that have to manage a diverse mix of projects now. The software development organizations that become more critical because we become software companies at our cores, even if we're not delivering software as an end product to the customer. And then we have to service these things and actually support them as we go on through and provide services to our customers so that their experience is great. So this is driving changes in the way that we manage projects and work. And because of this digital age, the speed of change continues to accelerate. The windows of time we have to take advantage of opportunities is shrinking. You might have come up with a product idea and might have had a 3 to 5 year window in a technological age to take advantage and capitalize on that idea and that product. Now that window is shrinking, sometimes 18 months, 12 months opportunity once you go to market before you have to replace it with something else, new updated versions, models, whatever it might be. And to that end, people are moving to more agile types of approaches. The idea is that customers need to get results and make decisions faster than they ever had before. So instead of the traditional ways of delivering projects, the more waterfallish type of methods, which is the traditional quality model we talked to here, where we do a lot of planning, designing, building, testing, and deliver a big bang at the end of a life cycle or of a project cycle. We're doing more iterative things and becoming more agile, so we're delivering value earlier in the cycle and doing it over and over and over again, so customers get value quicker and more commensurate timing-wise with where their investments are. So organizations are more and more shifting farther and farther to the left here. And the other piece now with the digital age is the easy access of cloud tools and other things in the marketplace. There is a proliferation of tools, and as different teams and people in your organization start taking advantage of these tools start to proliferate. And just an example that we took from a customer of ours, if you look down the left-hand side with the different functional areas like demand management, portfolio management, et cetera, then across the top, all the different functional units or organizations or departments within that enterprise. You can see that the mix of tools that can be used just in this discipline of project and portfolio management discipline can become very voluminous and very disconnected, and a lot of silos of information that needs to be aggregated at some point in time. So it's another challenge that's hitting organizations, the proliferation of these tools. But even as people are becoming more agile, there's usually a blend of approaches that are being used in an organization. Not everybody's doing everything in an agile fashion, or not all parts of an organization have adopted the agile ways of doing things. PMI had a publication that said that smart organizations realize that using agile techniques such as Scrum or DevOps is not the only or even the best indicator of an organization's speed or flexibility, and that most agile organizations are likely to be using several different project management approaches. And we find that is true today, even though this has been going on for a little bit of time now. So if we think about this, and the move to the left, as we called it earlier on, people are generally on some type of a journey. If you look at the far right and the green node of project and portfolio management, this is our more traditional PPM. The more of the life cycle: create, select, prioritize, plan, manage, close, longer life cycle types of projects. Majority tends to be waterfall. And this is the way we've traditionally done things in the past. And there's a need out there and a desire to do some of that, at least in some of the areas. But as we start moving left, we get into this area where we might be doing a hybrid. We're doing some agile, we're doing some waterfall. We're keeping some PPM governance concepts in place, but neither method dominates. So we have a hybrid way of doing things. And some folks may stay there because of the types of work that they're doing. They may have some agile and some things that doesn't lend itself to more agile, and they may be in this adaptive portfolio management space for quite some time. But for people whose goal is to become fully agile and move fully to the left, as we see in the darker blue, for agile portfolio management, adaptive portfolio management could be a transitionary period for even a number of years as they start moving farther to the left. And the agile pieces where people are doing things in different methods, using more lean approaches, doing more iterative types of things, and doing most things in a Scrum agile approach across their projects. So if you look at this landscape, and you might identify with where you are at any given point in time, the idea is we have to address either where people are at in this spectrum, or where they're transitioning through, or where they ultimately think they're going to end up, and be able to accommodate those things through the concepts of adaptive project and portfolio management. So the Gartner Group tries to stay at the forefront of these things, and a recent survey that they did in April found some project management trends that support this. They said that enterprise project management offices are embracing the proliferation of multiple tools and work management tools for projects across the enterprise, and integrating these tools as needed, instead of trying to force fit people into some monolithic singular type of tool that people have tried to do in the past. And it's also trying to tie these things more to strategic portfolio management, and then technologies that will help portfolio monitoring and decision making that not only tracks and provides visibility to the execution of the projects and work that are going on, but also be able to upfront align things with strategies and make sure that we are accounting for the strategic direction of where we're going in this digital age. They've also found that domain-specific PMOs are rejecting the more traditional project management methods on the far right, and the tools that they're adopting are supporting the adaptive PM and reporting tools that support continuous delivery, so that we're not doing big monolithic projects. We're delivering in chunks, but on a more continuous basis across value streams. And then also, the marketplace of vendors for software in this realm are also responding. And they found that PPM vendors are offering multiple PPM technologies to support a variety of use cases, including adaptive. And we'll be showing you a lot of that today. So the changes that are needed, the actions that need to take to go from the older ways to the new ways, or to support whatever journey we're on, program and portfolio management leaders, according to Gartner, need to evolve their PMOs or their project management functions for the digital business. And they must evaluate the most suitable PPM technologies to support this adaptive approach. They also should have tools and processes as well that support adaptive PPM and the reporting capabilities around that. But also, even though we embrace maybe the proliferation and use of a number of different tools, we don't want to overdo it. We want to avoid any unnecessary proliferation of tools. Not doing homegrown things, innovating things by a variety of just individualized spreadsheets or individual databases or homegrown tools. There are tools now available out there to do those things that are more commercial, off the shelf, and generally available, so that we can actually focus and narrow the set of tools. Even though we may use multiple tools, let's not unnecessarily proliferate them to a place that's untenable. So the way the Gartner Group sees the adaptive project management and reporting process flow, not unlike what we'd seen in traditional PPM, that there's demand and intake, that we have to do some basic prioritization and selection of projects and timing of those. We've got to source the resources and plan the execution of those projects. And we have to report progress through the execution of those projects. And we have to do portfolio reporting and analysis as we go through that. The overall goal of this in taking a more adaptive approach is to reduce overall project durations, do things quicker, promote continuous customer responsiveness, meaning we deliver things to the customers more frequently and we get their feedback, meaning we're delivering the right things based on their feedback. And then we have to adapt to changing customer needs. In the old model, we might do detailed requirements, and on a 2-year project, by the time we get to the end, the customer's needs or marketplace demands have changed. So the idea is this incremental thing is much more responsive and adaptive to changing to those customers' needs. And the execution approaches need to be based on time to value. Let's do the things that we can deliver quickest and have the most value to our customers and this customer-focused type of world. So an adaptive PM solution should have the ability to support a number of different types of work, different facets that support different parts of your organization. And in this case, different portfolios. I just show 4 examples that exist in many organizations today: a project portfolio, a program portfolio, maybe an IT service portfolio for internal stuff, and product portfolios for new product development and things that we're doing for customer-facing pieces. And the idea is it needs to provide transparency, the ability to do quick adjustments, be able to balance investments and resources with our priorities and our demands, to support teams that use a variety of tools and execution methods, and then provide automated consolidation of all this information, because this proliferation of tools can put us in a situation where we have many silos or many pockets of information that are not easy to roll up and take very manual mashup efforts to make that happen. We really want to provide a single source of the truth for all this. And to that end, that's why we're going to show you today OnePlan. OnePlan really provides adaptive project management solutions in the Microsoft Cloud. And it really does connect this strategy to the execution. And on the project management side, we're going to be focusing on the execution pieces and how that all comes together. In this example you see in this graphic, we're looking at very Microsoft-centric type of examples of Azure Devops for the more agile projects, Microsoft Project Professional for the more traditional waterfall type projects, and even the new modern project for the web for Microsoft for the lighter weight types of needs. So if we look at this continuum or this landscape or ecosystem as far as people moving from the right to the left, OnePlan can actually support all dimensions of this, whether it be the traditional project management portfolios using things like Project, the more adaptive portfolio management pieces that include things like Azure DevOps, Microsoft Project or Project for the web, or even full Agile, where they have an Agile methodology that might be used in something like Azure DevOps or even a Jira. But the idea there is that OnePlan can support you every step of the way along this journey, no matter where you're at in this continuum. And the pieces that we're going to show today is really how project management happens. If we think about bottoms up from the work management perspective, to be able to have work plans and have work plans coming from a variety of different popular tools that are in the marketplace today, or backlogs and efforts that are coming from Agile tools that are being used by a variety of our teams today. Having common status reporting regardless of which individual execution tool is being used, and then at the portfolio level, to be able to provide visibility, analysis, and portfolio level execution for things like roadmaps and portfolio scorecards, be able to do resource capacity planning, be able to look at financials at any level of this hierarchy. And the idea is to be able to provide this at whatever level of rigor makes the most sense for your organization. And so the things that we would have, like was mentioned early on, and what's an adaptive process? Demand management is in there to capture requests, epic briefs, other things like that, to whatever your intake mechanism is. To be able to look at your portfolio and analyze it, either using it from a more traditional type of portfolio list type of views or timeline views, or even portfolio boards as you're doing more agile approaches. Financial management, at whatever level you want to track financials for an individual project or initiative, up at a value stream or program level, or even at a total portfolio level, and be able to report on those things. Overall resource management, looking at individual needs of projects and work, that what we need from a capacity planning level, and be able to look at overall availability and demand across all the work that we're committing to or considering committing to. Overall project management, regardless of the tool set, the execution, work the way you want to work. Team collaboration, leveraging things with close synchronization with Microsoft Teams and or SharePoint so that we can collaborate with our teams beyond just the things that you traditionally would do in a project plan and execution set of tools. And even doing the ancillary things around a project, managing your risks, your issues, your change requests, and be able to have those things all in the mix of a project set of rich project data that we use to manage, track, and execute on our projects. And then status reports that become a natural output of the process. Instead of us compiling these things manually by mashing up data, by putting together PowerPoints or other formats, to have these things actually naturally flow to an output, but allow us to tailor and put the narrative in there that we want on an on-demand basis. Time reporting for some is something that needs to be integrated and fully in the mix. And then obviously the analytics and integration, the reporting pieces, the dashboards, the individual reports, the trend analysis, and all the things that people want to make sure that they stay on track and that they know the overall health of their investments. The other piece here is to make this work is you have to have integrations. And these integrations need to be able to pull these proliferated tools from your organization together and have that data. One plan has out-of-the-box connectors, as well as more generic connectors to do some other things that bring this data together so that you don't have to do this on every reporting cycle and makes it easier for you in the overall process. The other piece is because it's built in the Microsoft Cloud, we can surface one plan in a variety of ways. It can be brought up in your browser standalone. It can be brought up via Microsoft Teams. You can surface it in things of like Project Online if you're using that today. It can be embedded or fused into your Azure Devops use or SharePoint, et cetera, or even your use of Dynamics in the organization. Meaning because it's built in and built for the Microsoft Cloud, the flexibility of where your users can access this capabilities is highly, highly flexible. So with those concepts, I think you want to get to see this stuff in action. So I'd like to hand this over to Doug and let him give you a demonstration.
So as Jim's mentioned, today we're going to have a focus on providing a variety of different tools and access to those tools for scheduling and for management of your work from both a bottom-up and a top-down perspective. We can facilitate your transformation from a traditional project and work management approach to more of an agile approach by providing access through our one plan solution to a variety of those different tools. We allow you to be adaptive and to select from the work management tools that are best suited to your purposes, to your methodologies, and to what your teams are comfortable with. So during this demo, I'll focus first on bottom-up scheduling and work management. Then we'll transition to top-down, meaning reporting, prioritization, dashboards, and other tools necessary for successful work and task, project and plan management and delivery within your organization. So let's first take a look at bottom-up work planning. No matter what tool you're using for work management, one plan supports this. Many of you are using Project for the web, Planner, Azure DevOps, or other tools. And with one plan, you can continue using these tools in a single unified interface. So this is the main one plan portfolio plan view. You'll see on screen here that I have a variety of different plans visible in this interface, in this case grouped by the portfolio that they're associated with. In our integrations area of this interface, we see on screen that a variety of these plans have been associated with many different work management tools for bottoms-up task and work delivery, but also for integration and sharing of information through other tools that I'll demonstrate later in this webinar. And those include Teams and SharePoint, just as examples of how we can extend the use of one plan using other tools that are already in place in many of our customers' organizations. So let's first take a look at how we integrate this project, support customers using mobile, with Microsoft Project. All I need to do to open up this plan is click on that icon. It tells me here that this is a connected system and it's connected to Microsoft Project Professional. So I can easily open this item to navigate through to that project in Microsoft Project, or if I click through to the actual plan itself and open up the grid view for that support customers using mobile project, you'll see here within our one plan interface, we have a variety of different views available that show us the details of this plan. If I switch to this planning view, I can sort this project by start date, expand some of these phases of the plan, examine the tasks that are being delivered as part of the task and work management within this particular project. I could expose, for example, a Gantt chart view within this interface to show the work breakdown structure, milestones, and other information about this plan. And then, as easy as that, I can once again click on that connected systems icon to open up project, or if I just switch to that plan, open in another view, here's my support customers using mobile project, open inside of Microsoft Project Professional, fully integrated through our one plan add-on for Project Professional. We see those phases, scope, analysis for software requirements, etc. Again, fully synced with our one plan interface so that the work management, the bottom-up delivery of that project can take place in your tool of choice, if that happens to be Project Professional, with full visibility into what's going on within the life cycle of that project directly within our one plan interface. So that provides the team the flexibility and the ability to deliver on their project work, manage those tasks, manage that project using that familiar tool that they've grown used to using over the years, Microsoft Project Desktop, connect it through to one plan, and provide visibility into that project to the rest of the extended team who are managing this portfolio of work being delivered within our one plan interface. Now, with that project plan, there's going to be other data that we're going to need to gather and store in our one plan tool set. I'll focus on resource planning and financial planning in a few moments, including status reporting, but I'll switch just very quickly to this details tab to show you that within this interface for that project being managed with Microsoft Project Desktop, we support a business process flow, fully configurable. We support gathering of information about that project, such as general information, such as the portfolio it's associated with, the business unit that's responsible for this, who the executive sponsor for the plan is, other details that are configurable within the one plan interface to provide you access to the information you need to successfully deliver a portfolio of work, including build out of a business case, and then collection of information such as prioritization data. If you have a standard prioritization approach with a weighted prioritization score based on questions such as the risk of the project or whether or not it's aligned with your strategy, we're able to deliver that with one plan. Or if you're doing lean prioritization with elements such as weighted shortest job first for calculation of prioritization scores, we support that within the one plan interface as well. So this demo environment has a variety of data populated in it to give you, of course, the ideas about what you can do and deliver with one plan. And we'd go through a configuration exercise with you, our customers, to ensure that this meets your needs for collection of details and data about those projects. Now, if I revert back to that portfolio view, I showed you this project that support customers using mobile plan, which again is being delivered using that Project Professional tool set. What if we look at this project called Project for the Web? You'll notice the icon's a little different. I click on Project for the Web. It says here it's a connected system showing that new modern Project for the Web icon. All I need to do again is click open that item to navigate through to that plan. I'm showing that right here. Here's my Project for the Web project, design, build, develop, etc. Board views, timeline views. I'm sure by now most of you have seen Project for the Web and the new modern web interface for scheduling with that. And of course, we have that synced with our one plan solution so that in this view, you'll see exactly that same plan, design, build, test, deploy, etc. We have full visibility into what's going on within that project for the web project directly here within our one plan view. And just like project for the web, we support other views of that data, such as board views for drag and drop scheduling within our one plan interface, not just traditional grid or waterfall type approaches towards scheduling. So that was Microsoft Project for the Web. Together with Project, I think you're starting to get the idea that we support scheduling with a variety of different tools. Here we go, event planning for the marketing team. Guess what? They've been using Office 365 Planner for quite some time, and this connected system showing our planner connectivity gives another idea of what you can do with one plan to offer flexibility and adaptability to your teams to continue scheduling and doing bottom-up work management with their tool of choice. So there's Project for the Web and Planner. What about that other one, that big one from Microsoft called Azure Devops? So we have support customers using mobile. If we look closely at this plan, we'll see it's not only connected to Project Professional, but it's also connected to Azure Devops. Again, one-click access to open that up. Or if I navigate through to the work plan for that particular project, we'll see here that this truly is an adaptive plan. We have a view here integrated with Project with a traditional waterfall approach to scheduling. I showed you that Gantt chart earlier. What if I switch this view from that project focus and change our work type to the backlog for this project? And when I do that, we'll see very quickly that this particular plan changes its perspective. We're now thinking in terms of features and user stories and tasks that we're focused on. If I look at this text alert feature, we have a user story in there. We have tasks and bugs. What's going on here? Well, this particular plan is connected to Azure DevOps. So this is truly an adaptive plan with some aspects of that plan that are being managed in Microsoft Project, and then other aspects being managed in Azure DevOps. So here we are in Azure DevOps. This is illustrating our epic to plan mapping, where epics for this Fabricam team are being managed as plans within our one plan environment. So we see support customers using mobile. I can drill in. There's that text alert feature. I drill a little further. Here's our user story, such as support automated broadcast alerts, add email alerts, etc. Other user stories in here, tasks and bugs. Again, the Agile team is working within Azure DevOps and do not need to switch tools. They can carry on managing these plans using that familiar Azure DevOps development environment that they're working within already today. And if I switch back to our one plan environment, we see that we have full and comprehensive integration between those tools. So this team is able to work the way they want to work, bottom-up scheduling, be it traditional, be it agile, or be it an adaptive approach like we've shown with this particular plan, where some aspects are being managed in a waterfall traditional approach with Project and other fully integrated with Azure DevOps. Now, I'm going to switch to some other aspects of managing the lifecycle of this particular project. I mentioned earlier that we could collect details about these projects. On this tab, I'm showing that when you're doing bottom-up work management and work scheduling with a work plan in a tool such as Project for the Web, or even Planner, we still may have a requirement to gather some information about these plans for reporting, for grouping of plan views, for synchronization, for example, with Power BI, and then enabling you to filter and sort the information in reporting tools such as Power BI, or as I'll show you in a few moments, in some of the dashboarding capability of our one plan solution. So in addition to gathering the details about this plan, such as scheduling information, financial information, etc., we're also able to do some early lifecycle planning. So if we're thinking now about not just getting down to work and doing work planning with a tool such as Project, But if I switch to a resource plan view, doing early resource estimating around projects, we're able to do that within our one plan solution as well. So one thing that you'll notice on this screen, in addition to the fact that we're scheduling with a mix of named and generic resources, building out a proposed timeline for this project, and estimating that we'll need specific resources for specific numbers of hours or percentage of their time over time. What we have not done or needed to do within this resource plan is define the tasks that these resources will be working on. So we're able to do high-level resource estimating early in the life cycle of a project, well before we start work planning, and that helps us to facilitate top-down portfolio management. And when you're doing top-down portfolio management, part of that, of course, is prioritization and answering those questions if we have sufficient resources, or, as I show you here in our financial planning capability, sufficient budget for these resources. If you're doing financial estimating for your plans today, maybe you're doing that in Excel in a disconnected fashion from your project and portfolio management tool set. Here, in the one plan financial plan view, we see we've configured cost categories, expense types. Maybe we're capturing GL codes or details about these various costs. And then in a time-phased manner, during the predicted estimated life cycle for this project from March through November, we've built out a detailed financial estimate for the plan, rolling up this number into a total budget estimate for the plan, including labor estimates that have been imported from that resource plan. So early in your life cycle, before you start that bottom-up work scheduling, many organizations are still asking for an initial resource estimate, a financial estimate, and details so that we can do portfolio views and portfolio reporting within the solution. Now, finally, before we transition into top-down management of your work within your organization, if we're still thinking bottom-up, we've built out a work plan, and of course, you will need to report on progress within your plans. So everyone knows that we can get significant reporting out of Project Desktop. The reporting feature within that tool is very rich. And of course, thinking in an enterprise fashion, that other information you've gathered about this plan, such as the portfolio it belongs to, which program it's associated with, who the executive sponsor is, et cetera, can be maintained within the one plan interface. And we provide full status reporting capabilities directly within one plan. So you use our one plan designer to build out these forms, giving titles to the various sections within this one plan status report, identifying which information appears on those reports. And of course, right directly within this, we're able to then make modifications to the status report before we save it and publish it or share it with others by clicking on export, maybe saying Adobe PDF because we need to perhaps provide this to a customer or to someone in another part of the organization. And once we save that to the Adobe PDF format, here it is, available for you to ship out to others within the organization, including an issues report, work in progress, other details that we've decided to place on this particular status report. So again, it's fully configurable, as is the identification of the details you're gathering about those. And we have a very flexible interface within this one plan environment whereby we can gather sufficient information about those bottom-up work schedules that you're working on to report on them in this portfolio plan view. So now let's transition to a top-down approach for portfolio, program, and even agile work management within your organization. So I'll show you a couple of different ways of thinking about how to visualize that bottom-up work planning that's happening within your organization. Here we're seeing a long list of plans, many of which have work plans associated through those tools such as Project for the Web, or Planner. And we're seeing a status board here in this list view showing us the current health indicators for these various plans. Now, this is all configuration within the tool. If you use different colors or different ways of measuring health or status of those projects within your organization, it's very easy for us to make changes to that. You can maintain this yourself after the implementation has been completed. And it's very easy within these sorts of interfaces to add additional columns or remove information and then save out that information in a different sort of view. So for example, I could switch to a schedule summary view by layering in a Gantt chart for this particular interface. So when I select schedule summary, this will refresh. And now it's showing a focus on the schedules as opposed to the all up status. We're seeing state information, schedule health indicators, and of course a portfolio Gantt chart view with specific milestones from selected plans represented within this view. Now there's other views available, of course, as well. If I switch to this board view, the interface has changed slightly, where instead of a long list of plans, we see tiles with data representing the various information items about those plans, such as the budget, the business unit that this is associated with, benefits and prioritization score. On this board, we're showing coloring by overall health. Of course, we could change that to financial health or reorganize the view here not to show columns by the stage of the project, but as we've shown in a variety of other demonstration types of views, by business unit or portfolio. And making modifications to this is quite simple as well. Hit this drop down, select another field to layer onto those tiles, and the view will regenerate on the fly for you for individuals who are doing self-service business intelligence within our one plan portfolio plan views. And then finally, we also have a roadmap view. In this case, again, organized by the stage that those plans are in: create, select, plan, manage, and close. And of course, we can change this to show different types of roadmap views as well, perhaps by business unit, portfolio, or even priority. So once again, a wide variety of different views available within the solution. This summary view, that schedule summary view, the board and roadmap views that I just showed you are just examples of how you can do reporting within this one plan interface. Again, from a top-down perspective, but with the capability to drill down in and look from a bottom-up view as well at the details of each of those plans, again, being managed in separate tools if it was Planner, Project for the Web, or Microsoft Project. So a few moments ago, when we looked at that support customers using mobile plan, I showed you the resource estimate for that plan. One top-down priority or requirement that we have in many organizations is prioritization of a selection of proposed projects. So this social networking integration project has been proposed, migrate to Azure has been proposed as well. We have a mix of plans in here. So if your organization is interested in doing prioritization, we've had other webinars on this, but I'll give you a quick review of what we do within the tool when you're thinking through and asking yourselves questions such as, what's the priority of our projects? Should we or could we take on additional projects and additional work? And if we wanted to take on additional projects, how do we assess which ones to address first and start to schedule out with? So we see here in this view that we have a prioritization view showing the scores that we've assigned based on some of those prioritization metrics, such as, is this plan aligned with our strategy? What's the risk of this plan? And we've derived a weighted prioritization score. So I can very easily sort this in a descending fashion, and we see the highest through to the lowest priority project within this view. Social networking integration, very high prioritization score. This project should probably go ahead, and we can do planning around that. But what we can also layer into these views are financial estimates or resource estimates. So a simple view of this priority of projects within this tool would be to open up our resource plans. And within this view, take a look at a heat map of the availability of the different resources that we've configured within our one plan environment. We see these resources such as Daniel, Amy, Adam, Erwin, etc. We're seeing generic resources layered in here as well. And if we look at this heat map, we can see very quickly that, as an example, Amy is overallocated in the months December through to February. She's showing red. If I highlight that particular project, that particular resource, and we show Amy, she's assigned to the VoIP phones project, framework, improve user experience, etc. I scroll down this list and look at some of those assignments. There's improve user experience. We see she's been allocated to quite a bit of work across that. If we're interested in reallocating Amy to another plan and or replacing Amy on that particular project, we can do it within these interfaces. But just as a very basic experience around prioritization, all I need to do is remove that improve user experience from our selected portfolio. It's only a score 38 after all. And very quickly, we see that we've eliminated some of that overallocation for Amy during that period. So within this tool, we have a variety of ways of doing prioritization from a top-down perspective. When we were thinking bottom-up, we were scheduling, but we also built out a resource estimate for these plans. And this is where we can use those resource estimates to very quickly highlight overallocation amongst our various resources, and then resolve those overallocations by deselecting some of those projects that are not a priority for us. Now, so far within these interfaces, we've been showing projects and plans in one configuration or one way of thinking of plans. In this case, the way we've laid these out is we have grouping by portfolios, and we have kind of a flat structure here with a mix of agile and traditional projects all within the same interface. But we have other methods through which we can share information through the one plan portfolio plan views. We support a variety of different planning approaches and structures for your data. So if you think in terms of hierarchies, this tree view may be better suited for you. You'll see that we've built out this demonstration environment with the concepts of portfolios and programs, and then nested below those, an adaptive environment with projects such as support customers using mobile, which is both mixed between Azure DevOps and Project Desktop, standard traditional waterfall projects such as this framework to port applications project, and then agile Azure DevOps specific epics that are exposed in this same view. One of the last things I want to talk about is when we're thinking integrations, whether it's bottom up or top down performance within a portfolio, we're also often integrating with other tools that you're using within your organization. So whether it's the bottom up scheduling tools such as Project for the Web or Planner, you may have deployed SharePoint, Teams, or even the Microsoft Power Platform as well to build out solutions. So this plan, Migrate to Azure, we see that it's linked to SharePoint. And why have we done that? Well, maybe that team is used to working in SharePoint and want to take advantage of the document storage capabilities within SharePoint linked back to our one plan environment. So in addition to being able to provide one-click access to a project plan, I have one-click access through to a connected SharePoint site for that plan. Here's support customers using mobile, that adaptive tool, or adaptive plan rather, being delivered with Project Pro and with Azure DevOps. If I click on that Microsoft Teams icon, again, it's a connected system. I can navigate very quickly through to that connected team site for the support customers using mobile team. And we see the one plan interface available directly within Teams so that that organization or the organization and the group that's working on support customers using mobile does not have to navigate through to the one plan interface in order to access their work plans, the details about the plan, etc. It's all available natively within Teams for them. And then finally, we think about SharePoint and Teams as collaborative environments. What about using an adaptive environment such as the Power Platform? So here we're showing a sample Power App for an enterprise project management office. This adaptive PPM environment allows us to submit through to this tool new challenges, ideas, and requests, to think about our corporate strategy by objectives and key results mapping through to the strategy for the organization. And of course, front and center as we get into the business of delivering on work and the mandates that the organization has decided upon, we can do that within our one plan environment, integrated directly within the Power Platform interface that I show you here. So finally, before we transition back to Jim, I'll show you that again, native to one plan, we've extended the reporting to not just include our native lists, boards, and roadmap views, but dashboards, of course, as well. And this dashboard in this format should look familiar. It's Power BI. So all of the data in our one plan solution is accessible via Power BI reports. We see dashboard reports such as this, health summary reports that are available, even project one-pagers. If the status reports from those projects within the one plan tool were for some reason not up to speed for your organization and you wanted to resort to Power BI reporting, we've got a project one-pager here that allows you to view the status of all those one plan plans, again, being managed within the one plan adaptive environment. With that, I'll turn things back over to Jim to wrap up the webinar.
So let's talk about the value of adaptive project management. We talked about how it keeps users working in their preferred tools and solutions, and it provides them with the tools appropriate for their role, their project management maturity, and even the type of work that they're doing, which can vary in the organization. We can support a variety of execution methodologies and tools, as Doug demonstrated, and we can also help improve adoption overall by minimizing duplication of effort and unnecessary complexity by not having to duplicate data and mash up data or maybe put it in more than one place. We can also foster a better user experience, which in turn drives better participation and compliance, which means more complete information. And then if we get that, we can then integrate all work and resources into a single view, a single source of the truth, a single pane of glass, as people say. And then as teams continue to be agile at the team level, leadership can still get the visibility and the metrics they require as they go up to look at it from a more of a business perspective at times and look at the financials, the resources, the other health metrics of how their investments are tracking. Overall, if we do this correctly, we get better collaboration across all areas of the business. And from a one plan perspective, we showed you today that there's a modern user experience. And that's what's expected today by today's workforce, the younger millennial workforce especially, the app culture who wants things to get up quickly and just work. And one plan provides pre-configured adaptive project management solutions built for the Microsoft Cloud. So those of you that are in the Microsoft Cloud with Office 365 and a variety of other tools, we take advantage of those synergies and fits right into that ecosystem. And we incorporate tools appropriate for the user role, maturity, and type of work is what you need for adaptive PPM. We do support those variety of execution methodologies, and we really provide full adaptive project management capabilities right within a single roof, bringing in the multiple execution tools that we talked about. And as Doug showed you, there's flexible configuration, easily addresses varied use cases and needs for customers, and they can be changed over time as you grow, as you mature, as you're on your journey to becoming more adaptive or even more agile. So, Wickersoft, that we support and deliver one plan. We are a multi-gold certified Microsoft partner. We do have a global footprint, and we have a specific competency in project and portfolio management. We've been focused on that for years, as well as Partner of the Year designations over our time here as a Microsoft partner. We also have offices and partnerships around the globe. And we provide a one-stop shop for services around the things that you saw, whether it's implementation services, whether it's education and training, whether it's ongoing support or advisory services for business agility strategy or help in establishing or growing the maturity of a PMO and other advisory things that help you from a people and process perspective, not just the technology. And as a special offer for being on the webinar today, we'd like to offer you a free strategy workshop where we'll help to review your existing use of Project Online, Project, or other project management tools and assess your current requirements and what desired future state you might want based on the things that you may have seen today, and determine how and what it would take to implement or migrate into a new adaptive PPM solution. And then provide you an implementation roadmap that we think would give you the best adoption success, including what it would cost to make those things happen for you as well. And if you want to trial the adaptive project management solution you saw today, you can go to the Microsoft App Source. It is up there, and you can actually register yourself for a free trial and start working with it hands-on and see for yourself how the ease of use is and the richness of capabilities that are there. So as far as next steps for you, you could take advantage of our free roadmap workshop if you like. Sign up for a free trial on the App Source, and we'll be happy to support you and chaperone you through that trial experience. Or if you're not at that stage and you just want to see more than the generalized demonstration that Doug gave you today, we can schedule a personalized one-on-one demo and really tailor it or map it to what your requirements are for your organization and the challenges and the pain points that you have. And with that, I would like to thank you for spending some of your valuable time with us today. You can get to either our on-demand or upcoming webinars to register for those at oneplan.ai/webinars, or reach out to us at contact@oneplan.ai if we can be of further service. We truly do hope we can engage with you in the future and help you advance to the things that we saw today. Thank you for joining.